So, beginners on guitar. That's essentially what I'm doing. I'm just going to teach a few chords. I might do a overview on like finger picking or strumming chords to put them together in a song. And yeah, that's essentially it. So basics of guitar. Each string is a different chord. Of course, you have, I learned it by edge beat. E is the lowest. A, D, G, B, and E. Easiest way to remember that is edge B, in my opinion. It's up to you though. And then each one of these little lines right here, they're called frets. Like this one's the first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret. Each guitar is a little different with these dots here, but for my guitar I've got 5, 7, 9, 12, and 16. Or 15. I can't remember. I never use up there. Except for like one song that I have to do like 17 for. I don't know. But that's essentially it. To make chords, I guess the easiest would be a C chord, because a lot of songs themselves are located in the C transposition, I believe you would call it. But essentially, the C chord's basically the center of all chords, in my opinion. That's what I use. So to do a C chord, you go second from the verb. I'm right-handed, so the bottom chord is my highest chord. If you're left-handed, or you're a left player, your bottom chord will be your first, so you'd go backwards, I guess. So, first fret, second string up, first finger. Okay? You're gonna wanna go fourth string up, my bad. 1, 2, 3, 4 strings up, second fret. That would be your middle finger. Then for your ring finger, you go fifth string, third fret, my bad. That is a C. You can do counts of 4, or you can get fancy. You can do whatever you want, basically. And then I'm writing a song right now, actually, and I go from the key of C to E. So it's a basic switch, but for beginners, I know that it begins to get difficult, especially with your fingers starting to hurt. I've actually got calluses at the very tips of my finger. Yes, they are going to do that. That's normal. And yes, it's going to hurt when you start, but the more you play, the more calloused it gets and the easier it's going to become, because, yeah, they just do. So E major, or minor actually, I think it's minor, is second fret. I use my middle finger because I switch from C to that, so I go middle finger, fourth string, second fret, and then ring finger, fifth string, second fret. That would be an A, or A. Actually, A is one more finger on the third string of second fret. That's an E. But if you get rid of that, it's an E. E, A. I don't know if you can tell the difference here. A little closer. Boom. C would be second string, first finger. 1, 2, 3, down. Boom. That's a C. Going up a little bit, you just basically for an E, I move my fingers up and press there. Also, when you're holding the strings, you're going to want your pinky here, kind of, and your fingers basically in this, like, as close as you can to the chord so that you can switch a little easier. And your thumb is just going to be resting on the back here, just to give you a little more pressure and ability to press down the chords. Sometimes you can reach your thumb over and press some chords, but I haven't even gotten to that stage yet, so yeah. So again, I'm going to go C, move them up, basically you're moving your ring finger up a fret, or down technically, because when you go up, you're going higher. But anyway, ring finger, lift your pointer finger, and you put your ring finger down a fret, and then it's an E. And if you want to get a little more technical, you can also go with an A minor, which is basically first finger, second string, and you move your ring finger down to third string, second fret. Okay? You got your fingers there. Middle finger, fourth string of second fret, ring finger, third string of second fret, and first finger, second string, first fret. That is an A minor. I get fancy with this one, and I like to do where I move this finger and it changes the chord completely. See if you... That just adds a fancy twist to some songs. Now that you've got basic chords, there are two that are kind of tricky to switch to, which is, this one starts pointer finger second fret. That's kind of why it gets difficult, because I haven't figured, I like to go from C to it, but again, it's difficult. But this one is called G. First finger, fifth string, second fret. Middle finger, sixth string, third fret. And then your ring finger goes all the way down here to the first string of the third fret. And that is called G. A little higher than all of the rest. Now, the last one is all over here. First finger, second fret, first string. Middle finger, third string, second fret. Ring finger goes down a fret, up a fret, technically. I like down because it's down towards me, I guess. And you're going to want to go third fret, second string. That is a D. When you play the D, you're going to want to go from the second string down, because it doesn't necessarily sound as good when you add the lower chord. I don't know. That's just a preference of mine, I guess. Make it sound like however you want, I suppose. And so that's basic chords. You can play around with those however you want and have fun with it, basically. That are chords. Those are chords. Like, that's C, E, A minor, G, and D, I believe I taught you. And then the thing I did with A minor was called hammering. That's a thing old blues players used to do. And then you have finger picking, which is basically just playing cool rhythms with 1, 2, 3, or 4 strings, but you're essentially just plucking the strings over here. So, and then you're gonna have to, for finger picking, you need to remember the numbers of the frets a little more, I suppose, because I've got a series of numbers. Actually, it's 0, 7, 0, 5, 4, 4, 5, which sounds like this. Beautifully played, but difficult to remember the numbers. So 0 is actually when you just play the string. Let's say when you're reading tabs is what it's called. It says first string 0, which is just hands up, plucking it. That's 0. 1 is first fret, and so on and so forth from there. When you play, let's say you wanted to play like My Immortal by Evanescence, and it says second string, second fret, and then first string 0. Because I've got that is what fingerpicking can do. I prefer it, actually. Granted, chords can make decent amount of songs, but fingerpicking, in my opinion, does more melodies. Like, for instance, if you were trying to play Zelda. There's a lot that you can do with fingerpicking. I've recently tried to learn Perfect by Ed Sheeran, blah, blah, blah. You can basically look up any song in any fret and you can fingerpick it. Sometimes you need a capo, which I've got an old-fashioned one actually. It's really old and old-fashioned. I really like it though because it holds it tighter in my opinion. But whatever capo that you get, sometimes it asks you to put the capo on first, second, third, fourth. I've had one that went in 7 and 9, but I don't recommend that because it's actually really difficult to play up here in the chords. When you put a capo on though, when you're playing just normal chords, it's actually fairly simple. Let's say I put it on the 2nd fret and I play a C, just a normal C chord, which would be, of course, the one that I showed you earlier. But essentially you're just moving it under the capo. Basically, it's just moving this part down, which is not hard, honestly. It's pretty simple. I don't tend to use it very often, but it's there if you need it. I guess I can teach you simple things like I should teach you strumming. When you strum, let's say I've got a C down right now. When you strum, you can do a simple 4 count, which is just 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or you could do something really elaborate, like in Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. It goes down, down, up, down, down, up, down, no, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. I do a weird one where I go really fast. Then I switch. Yeah, see, I can't switch to G very fast. That's alright, I suppose. And then finger picking, I've already taught you how to do that. It's basically you just press down the chord and you pluck. You can do it on any of them. And I'm going to teach you a few of them, I suppose. I've got them all written down, so yeah, I'll probably put them in the description, to be honest. I'll put the sequence of numbers. Ooh, that might be a bad idea, actually. I don't know, because that's a lot of work to be able to put tabs in the description. Anyway, the song I'm writing starts out with C, goes to E minor, goes to A minor, with the hammer effect, of course, then goes back to E minor, then C. Later in the song is what I'm practicing right now, actually. I go from C to E to C again, to E, to C, then to G, then to A minor, then to E. That I can't do yet. Getting there, though. I'm switching to G a little more down once I get enough practice. But if you were just starting out and you would simply just like to play something, you can go starting with the C chord. C, E minor, A minor, E minor, back to C. Of course, you can add anything you want to that, like and you could switch between any of those 3 chords. Those are the 3 chords that I recommend as the starter chords, which is C, E minor, and A minor. They're the easiest to switch to. You can go from A minor to C. You can go from C to A minor. You can go from freaking A minor to E. You can go from C to E. It's simple, to be honest. You can go from, yeah, any of them. Once you get better, you can start practicing with, as I said before, G and D. As you can tell, I'm still not the best because I missed the chord. There we go. Now for finger picking. I guess I can teach you a simple one. We're starting on the very first chord, which is your highest, actually. And of course, I said before all guitars are different, but if you count the frets down, you need to be on 7. All you need to know for this pattern that I'm about to do is 7, 5, 4, and 9. It's a lot easier than you might think. So the first pluck is 0, just the first one. And you go 0, 7. So the order is just 0, 7. Then you want to go dun, 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 which is 5. And then you're going to go 0 again, dun, 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 dun. Then you move over to 4 to hit that twice. Then you hit 5. Pretty simple so far. That's one portion is what I call it. That's just, I don't know what to call it, but I call it that. It's just one portion, I guess. Zero, 7, 5, 0, 4, 4, 5, essentially. And then that is actually played twice in this song. So it's... Oh, actually, I forgot a part. In between the two of them, there's a pattern where it goes 0, 5, 0. So it's 0, 5, 0, 4, 4, 5. That's one portion of it. That's one portion. Ignore what I said before. That was what I just played as a portion, which is the numbers again. I'll go slowly. 0, 7, 5, 0, 4, 4, 5. 0, 5, 0, 4, 4, 5. And again, this can be played on any chord if you really want. You can play it, you can go one up. Then if you want to get really fancy, do anything you want, actually. You can make simple melodies. It's easy. But the last portion of that is actually when you go... Pause there, and then you go 0, 5, 9, 7, 5, 7. No, it's hard to remember. You can always backtrack and rewatch if you need to. I'm gonna go slowly. 0, 7, 5, 0, 4, 4, 5. 0, 5, 0, 4, 4, 5. 0, 7, 5, 0, 4, 4, 5. 0, 5, 9, 7, 5, 9. Pretty simple. That's my favorite one. It's the first one I learned, actually. And if you get really crafty, you can basically do whatever you want, like spooky, scary skeletons, which is first string 3, spooky, 2, scary, and then which is second string 3rd, 0, 3, 0. So 3, 3, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0. You don't really have to remember the numbers if you can just play the chords. Like, let's say you wanted to play, Happier with Marshmallow, where it goes dun 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 dun. Just mess around. It's fun. You can also play like Harry Potter. Hold on. Yeah, just have fun with it. That's what this essentially is. And if you want to play your own songs, by all means, just use those beginning chords as I told you, and as I learn, I will actually put more chords up here. Now, disclaimer, do not get frustrated if you cannot play anymore because your fingers hurt. Stop playing. I don't know how many times I decided to keep playing and my fingers decided to bleed. stop playing. Trust me. Granted, if you make them bleed, it'll create more calluses, but don't. Just don't. It's not entirely worth it, because it makes daily life a little more difficult, especially if you play the strings with your dominant hand. I don't recommend that, by the way. Strumming with your dominant hand is much easier. And there are several ways to strum, I guess. What I do is I strum with my thumb. I go down and then up with my fingernail. So I know some people that strum with their pointer finger where they go down, then up, and they just like... I can't do that because I hit the back string a little too much. I have more control with my thumb because I'm a gamer. I know people that strum with their middle finger. Again, I can't do it. You can also use a pick if you go to like Guitar Center or something. I recommend the flexible ones because you don't want them getting caught and then flying into here, because it's actually fairly difficult to get things out of here. Just gonna point that out too. You also always want your guitar tuned, and if you need to tune it, mine is perfectly tuned, so tune your bottom one, if you can tune it by ear, to this. That is an E, of the lowest one, of course. So if you can tune it by ear, I'll teach you how to tune too, I suppose. It's where you can play the bottom one, you have the bottom one, which is E, of course. Then if you go to fret 5 and press that down, that is going to sound the same as your second chord. Or it's supposed to. I'm playing two different chords now. I'm holding right here. I'm playing this chord and this chord. Sound the same, right? It works with all of them. I'm going to go this one too. Second chord. Now I'm playing these two chords. And it works all the way up to the third one. Because the third one, you want to go one up, because of the fact that it's not the same, I guess. I don't actually know that one myself. But then you play these two chords, second to last and the third, or fourth one, third one, third one, second to last and the third one, which is still going to sound the same. But the difference between that is you have your, depending on what you have, I have copper covered ones, which are different than the last two are a little different because they're not actually covered in whatever metal that you have. It may be copper, aluminum, blah, 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 silver, something. So yeah, that's essentially it. That's the basics you need to know. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope it's helpful if you're learning how to play guitar, because I know I am. And it takes a lot of work. But honestly, my best advice to give you is don't give up. I tried to do this a lot of years ago, and I gave up, and then I picked it up again, and I'm like, this time I'm not going to give up. And I didn't give up. And I'm writing my own songs at this point, so... Also, get your friends to help you with songs. They know better words than you, every time. Started writing a song about freaking pain and sorrow, and you're just like, what the hell, man? I need to write a different song. Anyway, peace out, guys.